Hello, and this is Sir Alexander with another Starcraft 2 battle report. This is with me and another RPG.netter, Astar Wolf. So this is myself and Astar Wolf. Astar Wolf is the purple Zerg, and sorry, I had my speed settings low, and I am the light blue Protoss in the bottom position, against Flare as the blue Terran and Koran as the red Zerg in the top position. Overlord not scouting, that's just a tip. Your Overlord should always scout. This is my 2v2 strategies series, and I just want to tell y'all, this is a cool strategy that what you do is it's a Protoss and Zerg player. The Protoss can 4-gate out of one base. You can max out production on 4 gateways on one base. So what you do is the Protoss one bases it while the Zerg player immediately takes both expansions. No military units. You don't even need to bother with a spawning pool. Just charge with both expansions while the Protoss player goes straight for a forge. Put up a pylon here, a pylon there, and a forge helping you wall off, and then finish it up with some cannons. Put a cannon here, maybe a gateway in there, and that will stop any rush attempts. If they try and rush you, that will completely stop all rushes, unless you get 6-pooled. A 6-pool might be faster than that, I'm not entirely sure. These Zerglings are just going to camp out here, not pushing across the map. When you have Zerglings this early in the game, you should really always push out across the map just to see what's up. So my first gateway is going down. Of course, the 4-gate's going to be a little bit later, but it's going to be well worth it with how much the Zerg player is going to be harvesting, especially since he's fully pumping drones, because he can do that because I've got so many cannons up. My first gateway is up, and of course all those Zerglings die very quickly. These cannons are up. Plenty of cannons, and really don't worry about it. With this strategy, you can just knock down cannons and move out later, because the Zerg player will completely outmuscle them, because you only have one player teching, and of course the 4-gate doesn't require any tech at all. You just build a cybernetic score, and it requires one tech, but not much. So my cybernetic score is, of course, researching Warp Gate immediately is being Chrono Boost. I have both geysers up, and will soon be fully saturating that one. And of course, Astar Wolf does have these guys fully up and running, is taking both, what do you call a Zerg one? Extractors. He is getting all extractors and massing probes, just so many drones coming out here. And he is putting up another hatchery to try and keep up with all of his crystals. He has a layer up, so he's probably going to go for a spire. A spire is usually... There's a spire. Spires are really strong on just any map. It's always good to have Mutalisks, unless you're playing against me, because I don't like it when the enemy goes Mutalisk, because they're so good. I hate Mutalisks as much as I hate Void Rays. So Spore Crawler's going up, which of course will nullify the effect of the Mutalisks, and he is getting Mutalisks himself, it looks like. So if you look on the income tab, you can see that Astar Wolf is harvesting 1,500 a minute, which is almost double anybody else's resources. And I'm harvesting just as much as they are, because they don't have... almost just as much as they are, a little bit less, because they don't have these bases fully saturated. He's running on 2 bases, but I'm still almost harvesting as much as he is. He is scouting out, checking to expand. And over here, a nice wall in here that's going to be really difficult to get through. And I go straight for Stalkers, just because I love Stalkers. They're so powerful, especially if you get blinked. Then you can just blink through that wall, and you don't even have to bother, which I think is what I'm doing. I'm getting a Twilight Council, a scan going down, which now they might be suspicious because he saw that he does have that expansion, whereas he knows that he's based out of this one because they did get a scout in, I believe. But Mutalisks are being massed up, but a lot of enemy Mutalisks coming across the map. But of course my Stalkers will totally own them, because Stalkers are very strong against Mutalisks. And for the rest, I'll put this down to normal speed for probably the rest of the map. I just like to get these off in one cast and fairly quickly. So of course this queen will be microed down, focused down, and my zealots, my stalkers should move over there very soon. Giant Mutalisk battle, no upgrades on either side, but I think Wolf has more Mutalisks, and of course with the help of my stalkers they will be taken down. Blink is not researched yet, though doubtless is on production. No, I'm doing charge first. I'm not sure why on earth I did charge over Blink, but I'm sure that I had a reason, and hopefully it was a very good one. No expansions yet from these two players outside of their main. And you can see that Astar Wolf is now harvesting almost 200 per minute. He's got 67 drones. Absolutely massive economy advantage here. it's so much better to have one person 3 base and one base than both players do 2 bases. Because you can see on our production we've got 2,700, so that makes 2,700, and on theirs they've got 1,000. So we've got 2,700 crystals per minute, and they only have 2,000 crystals per minute. So we're getting 700 more per minute than they are. He's building a lot of Zerglings just because he's probably got so much extra crystals over gas, and he is actually reaching his supply limit. I'm not even close to mine because, of course, I stalled, put up all these, it slowed me down to put up all of these cannons, and then I have to, a little bit of teching, and then I finally get my warp gates up, so I'm not amassing units. But of course, all these Mutalisks are moving in here. Vikings are very strong against the Mutals, but he does have damn grades, and he might actually win this fight. I'm not sure who's going to win this. Oh, it's call, and looks like he's going to get it. All these Vikings are badly damaged. Just a tip, when you're fighting like this, station your Vikings over your mineral line and select all of your guys and tell them to auto-repair. That would have won him that fight handily if he had just had all of his SCVs down there on auto-repair. He probably wouldn't have lost near as many Vikings and would have easily owned those Mutalisks. Of course, they are counterattacking, and the rest of those Mutalisks are taken down, but of course he is amassing more. Where, I'm not sure. Well, looks like he doesn't actually have any more. Oh, here they are. They're all limping back. But, not quite mined out yet, and I'm going to speed this up again. Looks like we're getting slow, and like I've said many times, I like to get all my games off in one casts, because it's so much easier for the viewer to watch a game that's in one cast rather than a game that's in two, because then you have to load part two. Though, hopefully, after this, I'll be casting some more epic matches that'll be like 45 minutes long with some diamond players. This is just for my 2v2 strats. So these Mutalisks are coming out here. Lots of Mutalisks, lots of Zerglings. Of course, the Zerglings don't do much good. These Mutalisks will be run off. He has damage upgrades and no upgrades on the Vikings. He has 1 armor and 1 damage upgrade. Astar Wolf does. And of course all these Stalkers will be a great help to run off those Vikings and Mutalisks. Warping in more, and I'm warping in Zealots to try and keep up because I don't have enough gas to go for all of my Stalkers. And now I'm expanding to the gold. They haven't expanded yet. But it's obviously at this point it's a very good idea to expand, especially for the person who is one basing it. This is kind of like the 3v3 feed me strat that I showed you, except that Astar Wolf doesn't donate me any crystals. Looks like he must have lost a lot of probes, must have been some drones, there must have been some harassment or something, because he's down to 64 where he was at 90. He just produced his max pop, so now he's got 200 pop and can fully produce Mutalisks. Over here, we still see Mutalisks on the production for him. Is he nothing? No upgrades down at the Spire, and no upgrades at the Spire over here either. Not sure why. Upgrades are so good on Mutalisks. And of course, all these guys will begin fighting out here in the map, but his Mutalisks are going to get owned because they don't have that 1 armor upgrade. So you got to think, Mutalisk shots hit. Oh, and he really needs to pull out of that. That's way too many Vikings. And of course, Vikings do... are these guys armored? No, these guys are not armored. They do 10 damage against these guys, and Mutalisks do... Well, they do 10 damage back. Oh, but Vikings get splash damage, don't they? I think Vikings... Do they get splash damage? No, they don't get splash damage. Huh. Oh, they get 2 attacks, though. Mutalisks only get 1, and then it bounces at a... the spore thingy bounces, but at a lesser attack. All of these what are these guys? Zerglings, or cracklings, or speedlings, whatever you want to call them, are going to move in here, and of course do horrific damage to all those Vikings, which are going to run, and then probably, oh wait, no, those are my Stalkers. My Stalkers are also pushing and helping here. Where's the rest of my army? I'm not sure where the rest of my army went. It must have been destroyed. Oh, wait a minute. Hang on, let me back up. I forgot, that was really cool. Okay, here's another really good tip. Look, he's got a very armored wall in. He's got 3 tanks, and then he's got 3 Marines. So he's 4 tanks, actually. So he's got a pretty good wall in here. But there is a time... You see, I've got a pretty good force. So if you look at this, I'm going to take a lot of damage if I try and break this wall in. That's a lot of siege tanks, Zerglings to back it up, and then Marines to shoot over the lines. I'm going to take a lot of damage if I try to break that wall in, but you have to remember there is a time to just completely muscle your way through a Terran wall in, and now is that time so I can try and do some damage, destroy some Vikings, destroy whatnot. So I charge in here. I was trying to get to those siege tanks but can't quite reach. And that might have been a little bit of a mistake as most of my zealots are behind the line. These siege tanks are coming back, but I'm just going to decide just to throw it all in and just power my way through this. So of course there go that's so cool. All my zealots charge in there. We'll take down that siege tank and we'll begin working on the rest. These Vikings coming back and his Zerglings coming in, but of course those zealots are the perfect counter to Zerglings. All these Vikings will be landing soon. There they go. But of course now my zealots will be able to attack them. My stalkers will be able to attack them. I'm going to speed this up again here. And these Mutalisks will be able to attack me. I'm pulling back, but now with the help of the Zerglings, we'll be able to take this out. And now we're back to where we were. All those Zerglings pouring in. And of course, now those guys will lift off, but they've taken so many casualties that these Mutalisks and Mass Corruptors will be able to destroy them very easily. And speed this up again. So this is effectively over. So you see how he was able to mass Mutalisk so strong. This is the advantage of the Zerg taking, when you're Zerg Protoss, the Zerg takes all three bases and the Protoss one base, 4 gates, which is very powerful. I haven't even started mining at the gold, just now getting it up. But they leave the game, and that is GG. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope you enjoy these strats. So here's another 2v2 strat, and this is Sir Alexander signing out.